Good morning. Thank you for coming. It's an honor to be here at the World Government Summit. For much of the past century, luxury was defined by objects, what you owned, what you displayed, and what you accumulated. Today, however, luxury is increasingly being defined by experiences, how something makes you feel, what it says about your values, and how deeply it connects you with place, with culture, and with story. And this shift really matters, not just for brands, but for governments. Experiences have now become a form of soft power, an important form of soft power. They shape how nations are perceived, how cultures are understood, and how trust is built in a global competitive landscape. And I would have to say that Dubai, in my experience here, is an exemplar for the world in how to do this very, very well. Luxury and creative industries now sit at the intersection of culture, of commerce, sustainability, and identity. From hospitality and fashion to tourism and media, they influence how people experience countries, not just visit them. So today's question is a simple one with complex implications. Who really drives the experience economy? Is it governments through policy and stewardship? Or is it brands through innovation and storytelling? Or is it consumers through changing expectations and values? And our panel today brings together unique leaders positioned to address these questions. Together we'll explore how the experiences are created, protected, and elevated, and how collaboration between the public and private sectors can shape a more sustainable, authentic, and compelling future. And with that, let's get started. So we'll begin with Prime Minister Gaston Browne. For island nations where tourism is both an opportunity and a responsibility, how do you think about attracting high-value visitors while protecting community, culture, and the natural environment that makes the destination so special in the first place?
Thank you very much, Excellency. We have been transitioning our tourism product into a high-value product, one in which our culture is actually integrated into our tourism product. We observed over the years that the volume tourism that we were chasing, that it did not create the type of returns to uplift our people, to provide the type of opportunities. But as a consequence of the transition that is taking place now, we have attracted a number of high-end brands, and as a consequence to the experience from visitors is such that we're getting more return tourists, and the visitor spend would have increased significantly to the extent that our people are earning higher salaries and wages. And the actual rating of the destination has improved significantly. In fact, Antigua and Barbuda is now emerging as one of the most significant luxury destinations within the Caribbean, one in which visitors come to our shores and they not only experience the international cuisines, but international cuisines that are mixed with our culture, our own food and beverage, in which there is, let's say, a very delightful combination of international cuisines using local material, even in terms of our foods. I'll give you a case in point. Our spiny lobster, for example, is prepared in such a way that is easily one of the tastiest cuisines, lobster cuisines you'll find anywhere in the world. And we have these international brands to include Nobu, and they've been able to come up with these gastronomical delights to the extent that the experience coming to Antigua and Barbuda has been exceptional, and it has created a form of diversification and at the same time a form of differentiation for our product in which visitors are able to experience our culture, our music, our gastronomical delights, our fashion. So for us, again, this is a new ethos in tourism development, and one that is working very well for our island state.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Prime Minister, Montenegro has redefined success by prioritizing well-being, culture, and environmental stewardship over pure growth. What lessons can the global luxury and tourism industries take from that approach as they shape the next generation?
Thank you. So Montenegro is a country that is the first country in the world that announced itself in a constitution that it's an ecological country. From the early 90s, we were in the constitution written as a country that is a green country. It became a trend afterwards, but Montenegro was, frankly spoken, not really adhering to that from the start. So we had to go through, although we were in the constitution, and the constitution is the highest law of a country, we were not taking it too seriously, to be frank. And only recently we have started understanding what we have done in the 90s and what was that move all about. So Montenegro now is a country that has the largest or the most national parks and UNESCO protected sites per square kilometer in the world. And you know, a lot of people tell me, yeah, is that good or bad? Because you know, if you have so many UNESCO sites, if you have so many national parks, there are so many restrictions and so little things you can do with that space. But I can tell you, this is what the current or the new luxury trends are all about. People are looking for something that is genuine, that is preserved, that is keeping the spirit or keeping the history, the culture as it was, and you know, this is what we are trying to sell. And as a prime minister, you know, a lot of people think that politicians are mainly doing the regulatory work or the work around managing the country, but it's also, I think, somebody told me you are the chief sales officer of a country. So you have to be somebody at the forefront of trying to sell the story of a luxury, or the way you perceive the luxury of your country. And another thing is, you know, turning the disadvantages into the advantages. So although we are quite centrally located in Europe, and we relied on the tourism markets, Europe, Eurasia, Middle East, so this was our traditional markets, but it's not easy to reach Montenegro, frankly spoken. You know, you know, most of the Germans or Austrians or Central Europeans who are or Northern Europeans who are traveling to the Mediterranean Sea, they would go by car. They don't go to Istria or Italy or Spain or South France by plane. They go by car. So you know, if they go by plane, they will go to Thailand or a place like that. So we were in between. So nobody wanted to go by plane, but actually going by car is not easy. So what we did, we opened a couple of really premium marinas for yachts. So turning the disadvantage into complete its opposite. So now we have arguably the best yacht marina in Mediterranean, and it became like a good entry point and good customer acquisition tool for us.
A true luxury experience.
Yeah, true luxury experience.
Wonderful, thank you. Moving on, Daniel, the luxury fashion used to be about products on the runway. And today it's more about experiences and communities and identity. And as a global CEO, what's been the hardest shift in leading that transformation as you move more towards experiences?
Thank you for the question, and thank you for having me here. I think it's a combination of all in today's. You still have to do the fashion shows, but you have to turn a fashion show also into an experience. And a shop for us is not anymore just a point of sales. It has to become a point of experience. And therefore, we have to activate on all angles in every possible way to engage with the end consumer. And as we say, our aim is to turn an end consumer into a fan, because a fan is also very loyal. And that's not easy, but you have to transition. You have to be your point of sales into, it doesn't matter, it's omni-channel. It doesn't matter where the end consumer actually buys your product. If it is in the store, if it is online, or wherever he buys, as a brand, you have to go where the end consumer or the fan is. And that has shifted. So I just to explain that in the fashion show, everybody thinks, oh, fashion show, they go 10 minutes, they walk in, they walk out, and that's it. No, you have to create also those guests who come to our fashion show. It's an experience. We bring celebrities. We make dinners. We make on the place. We have to activate what we do. So what was good yesterday is not good anymore for tomorrow. And you have to do a lot more. And really that's what we try to do, is to work with governments together, to work with celebrities together, to bring all in one place. And I think if you compare in sport, there is the way they do it. Take a Formula One race or a tennis game. It's not just anymore a tennis game. It's people want to see more. They want to see the game, but they want to be entertained by a concert or by anything else. And you have to see that is happening everywhere. It's happening in fashion. It's happening in the countries. It's happening with every company. And you have to do a lot more than you had to do in the past. And I think the collaboration between government, business, and end consumers needs to be tight. And we have to understand what the end consumer wants. And that is shifting on a daily basis. And that's where we as a brand, that's where we invest. That's where we want to be at the forefront and be also an example.
Have you seen tangible results from that increased connection with the consumers through experiences?
Oh yes, social commerce, for example. Any activation you do through social commerce, and there is the button, where you can buy immediately. So the transaction for every activation we do is immediately shown in sales. And the followers, which we do with celebrities, it's just nothing anymore like it was in the past, where you place an ad and then as a brand you were great. You have to do so much more. And that's where you have to invest. Next to the product, you have to invest into the experience. And that's how you become not only end consumers, that's how you become fans.
Excellent. Thank you. Benjamin, hospitality is where the national identity becomes personal. And how do you preserve heritage and authenticity in your brand while still innovating for the global traveler who expects modernity, personalization, and sustainability today?
All right. Well, again, thank you very much for having us today. It's wonderful to see Dubai, opening up to so many new ideas and opportunities, and it's a real privilege to be representing the Peninsula hotels here. The Peninsula Hotel is part of a company that's been operating luxury hotels for over 160 years. We started in China, in Shanghai, and then are now in over 10 countries or 12 countries. But more importantly, we've had the privilege of being at the forefront of the evolution of those cities, the evolution of those countries. What a business was initially giving lodging for travelers has morphed into being now a place of convergence for governments, for tourists, for local communities, whether they want to do trade, whether they want to celebrate something quite unique and create those memories. And it's a real privilege to be working in hospitality as it offers so many different opportunities. For 160 years, it's also given us the opportunity to anchor ourselves in the cultures where our hotels have been opened, but also to expand this culture and mix with other nationalities and cultures that have joined us along the way. We say that we are able to provide craftsmanship of the local cities where we operate, but give it a global human touch with the services that we offer. I used to work in retail. I used to work in the luxury industry. I kind of joked with Daniel before that I used to sell suits, and now I'm hoping that all of you stay in our suites, in our hotels. But more importantly, we do see a large shift for what was really before just a lodging, just spending a night in a place to recover from a trip, to now being a place where people will shift their spend of wallet to 2 or 3 nights, bring their families, multi-generations, government delegations. And again, thank you for the Dubai government for hosting us in those beautiful hotels. We wouldn't be able to have this conference if we didn't have such a wonderful hospitality here in Dubai. So I think this evolution of transaction and owning something is now becoming into living the luxury experience. And it's really, really fascinating. What is important now for us also is to make sure that there's an element of sustainability in what we do. We create jobs where we open hotels. We create careers for local students sometimes who start working, in the most menial jobs in the hotel industry. But we provide careers, and we want to make sure that we also give back to the communities and help and support the governments in their efforts in making it a destination for new luxury customers, but also destinations for government entities and be at the conversions of all this trade. So it's a privilege, but it's also a lot of work, and I think it's going to be going on. This world of experience, this world of turning transaction into memories is something that has a big, bright future, and we work very closely with governments in assisting them in creating what is needed for the destinations as well.
And with your unique purview, having sat on both sides, on the good side and now the experiences side, when did you see this shift start to occur, and can you attribute it to anything?
I think it's definitely in the last 15 to 20 years. What used to be important was to push the door of a retail store. That world has changed. The physical boutique is now become sometimes, creating an event in the desert and bringing your best clients and taking them somewhere that money cannot buy, which eventually creates that emotional link with the brand and ends up in a transaction. Fashion has started that with the fashion shows, and they became bigger and more bolder. They've invested into musicians and performances into that. But you're seeing that also in the watches and jewelry trade, or even in the food and beverage industry. The pop-up culture, of bringing what was only available in one location, but making it available through ephemeral moments in other places, has really transformed the way and created new relationships with the customers, the guests, with the brands. And in fact, hospitality is also supporting this evolution of the luxury industry or the fashion industry, because we provide the backbone to make it possible. Right. You're going to need a chef to cook in the desert. You're going to need some amazing, pages to go and greet your guest. And again, this is where the hospitality world can serve different angles and really be part of creating those experiences, sometimes for a brand like the Peninsula, but also at the service of other brands like Hugo and many others. So it's a really exciting times.
Good. Odell. Yes, sir. Today, athletes and entertainers are major influences in shaping the experience economy. I think we would all agree on that. And as a high-profile athlete yourself, someone who's a Super Bowl champion and who has played their ball in the country's two largest markets, so the fan base is enormous between New York and Los Angeles. How do you think about your role, not only as an intense competitor on the field and a champion, but also as a cultural force for good?
Yep. Thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here. I was thinking about something. As I grew up, luxury, it would be a luxury to have luxury, I didn't grow up with money or, anything like that. And it was just always my dream. I remember telling my mom at 4 years old that she came outside. I was practicing in the snow, and she was looking for me all over the house, and I'm throwing the ball to myself, and I was like, I'm practicing for Sundays. And she said, I said it with so much conviction that she had no choice but to continue to push me. And when I think about fashion and growing up, just the way that I dressed was always different from everybody. I felt like it was a way of expressing yourself. And just one thing I always stand by is just being authentic to myself. I'm just always going to be that. So when I got to be on the field and got to be, who I am, I would always just try and stay in that authentic lane, and I would push and inspire kids, to do the same, not to change who they are, and the world will accept you, at some point. So just being able to be in two of the largest markets, honestly, has been a blessing. God has put such a tremendous opportunity for me to have that, to be able to inspire kids. It was always just about inspiring one kid. I remember one of my idols growing up, Michael Vick, and I had the opportunity at halftime. We'll have our Pee-wee teams. We get to play. We'll get one possession each, one defense, one offense. And I remember Mike Vick was just so gracious and so humble. And that moment as a kid, I'll never forget. And I just was always like, when I get to that position, this is exactly how I'm gonna be. And just being able to touch one kid's life and inspire him, that's all I ever set out to do. I know that there's been a lot more, but it was always just about being able to place that love like on one kid and have that moment that he'll be able to remember forever. So just inspiring kids to be themselves, be authentic, and just be the very best that they can be.
You've done a wonderful job of it.
Yes, sir.
When we think, and this would be for anybody on the panel, how, and we can combine here on this, but how can governments and brands collaborate more effectively to build world-class experiences?
I think it's very simple, like with everything. We have to talk to each other. We have to share ideas. We have to show each other what are the opportunities that the government has, and we have to show as a brand what kind of opportunities we can give. And we heard about pop-up stores. We heard about fashion shows. It's from our point of view, there is so much more, also in sport, that we could collaborate. And having testimonials, and they bring it so fast on the spot. The reach of combining all together really creates that experience, and we as a brand, we can give these emotions that are happening on an event. We can transform for the government into the world. It's how the values of a government, the values of a country. We as a brand can transform that value for government into the world, whatever it is, and if it is in sport, if it is with culture, if it is with anything, brand has the power to do that. That's how I see it. Of course, as a brand owner, I really see we have there a lot of possibilities that we are always able to do. And I think Dubai is an example. I remember 3 years ago, we did even a fashion show in the desert, in the real desert. And that was an experience nobody expected. I think we were one of the first one who did that. But this kind of collaborations, that's what we are looking for. And that is, every government is welcome to talk to us and bring ideas. The more crazy it is, the better.
I appreciate everybody very much. I think this was an excellent panel. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.